What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Stay Fresh production. Today I'm coming at you to answer a question that I get a lot, and that is, how do I choose my scent of the day? How do I decide what fragrance I want to put on? Now, as you might already know, once your collection starts to get pretty sizable, once you're exceeding 20 to 30 bottles, and I know a lot of us and a lot of you guys out there are way beyond that, it begins to get difficult to really decide on what you want to wear, especially when you just look at your whole collection, in the morning before you're going out and you're like, yeah, I don't know. They all look great, or none of them look great. There can be a lot of things happening all at once. So over time, I've come up with a few methods that I use to help me decide what I'm going to put on, because ultimately I'm really not trying to waste a whole lot of time deciding on what I want to wear in terms of fragrances. Same as I would do with my clothes. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time, just because a lot of times I don't have that time. So try to expedite the process, try to streamline it. And I've come up with 4 methods that I use to choose my scent of the day, and I'm going to share them with you from my least used to my most used. Hopefully give you some ideas if you're having trouble as well, just like I do. So let's start with my number 4, and that would be reminders from other reviewers and other members of the fragrance community. I wake up in the morning, I'll get on YouTube, I'll see what new reviews are out, and every now and then I'll see someone reviewing a fragrance that I have, but either I forgot about or I just haven't given it much love, and I'll immediately be inspired to, let's wear that one today. Why not? And that usually comes easy, but that definitely doesn't happen very often. That's kind of a less frequent thing. But when it does, it's great. And ultimately, I'm just kind of reminded of why I have this fragrance and that I should be wearing it more. So that would be my number 4 pick. My number 3 pick for methods to choose what I want to wear comes from this wonderful database that I have mentioned before, but if you've never heard of this is called Parfumo. It's an online fragrance database. You can use it to basically keep track of the fragrances that you have, the fragrances that you had, fragrances that you want. There's a great social aspect to it, so you can interact with other members. And this is probably my favorite feature of this. They have what's called the Perfume Consultant. And what it is, you just literally click on what should I wear, and you can choose the season, you can choose the time of day. It'll give you a list of fragrances from your collection that it suggests for that particular occasion, and it's going to show you when you last wore it, so like how often you've been wearing this fragrance. And a lot of times I'll just literally go into this and I'm like, okay, looks like I haven't worn La Nuit de l'Homme Frozen Cologne in a while, so I'll throw that on for the day. But sometimes it's even difficult to pick from here. They give you 12 fragrances to choose from, and sometimes what I'll do is I'll literally go into a random number picker and I'll put in the range 1 to 12, and I just have it spit out a number, and I'll go by the rows of these fragrances, and whatever the number is will correspond to that particular fragrance, and I'll throw that on for the day. So as you can see, that particular method really has nothing to do with how I feel for the day, because ultimately if I'm having trouble deciding on a fragrance, that means that I don't really know how I'm feeling, which leads me to my next method, which is mood. Sometimes you just know. Sometimes I get in the shower, or even I'm doing my workout before I take a shower, and I just know, I'm just like, you know what, I'm feeling like this today. Feeling like I'm gonna throw on Creed's Vetiver Geranium today. Sometimes, again, you guys probably go through this too. You just know. Don't even think about it, spray it on, you're out the door. And that happens, I'd say, pretty often for me. But it's definitely not my most used method. So that takes us to my number 1 method for choosing my fragrance for the day. And believe it or not, I'm gonna reach behind the camera here to grab it. It's this little piece of archaic technology that I most often rely on when choosing a fragrance. A coin. I flip a coin. Obviously, coins have 2 sides, heads and tails, at least most traditionally. So what I would do, for instance, I have 2 fragrances here. So sometimes I'm down to 2 or 3, but usually 2 fragrances that I can't really decide on. So in this case, we have Roja Dove's Elysium, the Parfum Cologne version, and we also have At the Barber's from Maison Martin Margiela. So yeah, I'll be between 2 fragrances, and what I'll do, I'll put one down, I'll put the other down, left and right, I'll assign the one on the left heads, I'll assign the one on the right tails, and I'll do 3 coin flips. So we'll do that now. In fact, I'll put on one of these fragrances today probably. So I'll do 3 coin flips. So if 2 out of the 3 flips are heads, then I go with the one on the left no matter what. And vice versa, if 2 out of the 3 are tails, I go with the one on the right no matter what. So in this case, our first flip came up to be a tails. You can't see that, there it is. So that means I have a At the Barber's on the right, so technically that one is winning. We'll do 2 more flips. There's 1 more. So there's another tails. And that means that no matter how I feel, At the Barber's is my scent of the day. So that's what I'm gonna put on today. In just a second at the end of this video, I wanna mention one more thing. And this is a new challenge that I'm doing for myself, and I'd like to challenge you guys, both viewers and reviewers, if you'd like to take part in this. I feel like once we amass so many fragrances, you start to have trouble choosing which one to wear and such. It gets difficult to really commit to one thing and wear that one fragrance, you know, we'll just say for a week's time. Even if you really love a fragrance, we have so many that it's like, yeah, you wanna, I love that, but I'll wear this one today. Or I really love that, but I'll wear this one today. And then before you know it, you're not really wearing these fragrances that you really love. So what I've decided to do for myself is that basically I'm gonna commit to this At the Barber's, because that just won the coin flip. For the next week, from today until next Monday, I'm going to wear that fragrance every day, and only that fragrance for every occasion, no matter what, day and night. Now, here where I am in this part of the world, we are in spring. It is still pretty moderate outside in regards to temperature, and the next week or so is looking, you know, roughly in the low to mid 50s range in terms of degrees Fahrenheit, maybe up into the low 60s. So it's still a little bit chilly, but it's not terribly cold, so I think that thing will do pretty well. I do consider it a fairly versatile fragrance. It's fresh, it's kind of barbershop-y. I mean, it is barbershop-y. That is what it is intended to be. You have lavender, you have some citrus, I believe. There's some leather in there, just a very classic, I mean, there's some spices as well. It is a classic barbershop style aromatic fougere for men. I really dig it, so that's what I'll be committing to for this entire week. And I will report back next week to let you know my findings, because I feel like sometimes when you give a fragrance more time, especially consistent time, day after day, we all talk about compliments and whatnot, and honestly I don't really care that much. That's why you don't really see me talking about them all that much. But you know, you spend more time with it, you increase your batting average. Basically, you increase your chances of actually getting positive feedback. So we're gonna put this on. So I'm gonna do, haven't sprayed it in a while. Yeah, one there, one on the shirt, and then of course one under the shirt. So that's my scent of the day. This will be my scent of the week. Again, I'll report back. Let me know what you would think of this idea. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. If you want to do the challenge as well and report back next week, I will be sharing my results with you guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Peace. I'll see you guys in the next one.